come in. Yeah, thanks, Chan. She walks in and immediately takes a seat in the chair. The natural thing to do, but I'd expect her to sit on the bed. Hey, Chan. Misha frowns harshly, arms folded over her chest, like she's trying to play a grim interrogator. All that's missing is the mustache and the dangling, flickering light bulb on a string. Did you make Shichan sad? What do you mean? When I went to the office today, Shichan couldn't hear me coming. That's why, when I opened the door, I saw a really confusing expression on her face. Shichan looked happy and sad, and I wanted to know why. Well, it wasn't because of me. I didn't even see it. I think she's depressed that she won't be student council president anymore in a few months. When I asked Shichan about it, she said that it was okay. That's meaningless. Shijun wouldn't say that. It's ridiculous to think that she would let it go that easily. I mean, there are times when she'll want to fight me over the last apple or chocolate milk or whatever. That is stuff that doesn't even matter. Chocolate milk is important. Okay, it is. Don't get mad. But not as much as student council is to her. She wouldn't just wave it off so easily. Wahaha, you're right. I thought that this was supposed to be an interrogation, but it appears Misha has already forgotten about it. But I don't want you trying to lie to me to make me feel better. Haha, most people don't know how serious Chan is and think she's just putting on a show. I'm happy that you understand her, Chan. It's obvious, especially how she talked about it today. Misha leaned in closer with interest, resting her head on her palms. Really? What did she say? They're close enough that I don't think much of how she's prying. Why she joined the student council, sort of. She started, but then decided some stuff should just stay classified and signed it's a secret. So I guess that's what she told me. It's a secret. Well, if someone tells you that they have a secret, you can sort of call that a secret by itself, Chan. Just like how, according to you, luck is a skill. It can be. Wahahaha. Be careful, not too loud. Why, Chan? You're gonna wake up half the people in the building, and on top of that, dorms aren't co-ed. Hey, Chan, are you thinking something dirty? Stop being weird. Haha. If you are, it's okay, I think. Hearing that makes me realize how easy it's been for me to talk to Misha all this time. That I would be able to go this long without feeling the need to be on guard. This is the first time I have. I feel sad at Chan. It's funny the happier Chan gets, the more depressed I feel. Even though I should be happy for Chan, I still am, but I can't think about my problems with her. Why not? Just like Chan can't talk about her problems to me. It's the same thing, Chan. If we have the kind of problem, then I'm not sure any more than what I should do. I wonder if I'm a bad friend. Misha gets up quickly and drops herself on the bed until we're sitting only a few inches apart. Just a couple seconds later, she puts her head forward and gives me a little kiss. It misses my lips, but due to a bad aim on her part, that's because of me. What are you doing? Although it's just formality, I'd be stupid to not know what she's getting at. And just that it seems so unlikely that I'm hoping there will be some way I won't have to deal with it. Now she decides to be shy and giggles, embarrassed. Do you like me, Chan? Yeah? Her head is buried in my chest. It feels like she's talking into my scar. She might be able to feel it brushing against her cheek. I tried too hard to hide it from both of them, but both of them before. It seems like such a dumb thing to have worried so much about in retrospect. Please comfort me, Chan, just for today. Well. Oh, comfort Misha, or refuse. Well, you gotta admit, the offer may be tempting. The offer may be tempting to comfort Misha, considering how sad she is. And you want to comfort friends when they're feeling sad. But unfortunately, I think we'll need to refuse. Also, we're sort of in a relationship right now. We'll be cheating. Well, that's not good at all. That's not a good thing. Before I can answer, she puts her whole weight against me and unbalances me enough to send us both onto the bed. If I don't answer quickly, then the situation will only become more precarious. I know that I should never let things get as tangled as they already are. So even though it isn't the most tactful way to refuse her, I push her off of me. Misha falls backward onto the sheet so softly that it seems like she barely fell at all. Eyes closed, she stays like that for a while before getting up like a hollow laugh. You're right, Achan. I'm sorry. I'm not sure how I feel. Regretfully, slightly, even though I'm grown to hate regret. Sad for a multitude of reasons. I'm also a little angry, both at her and at myself. And in a way, even seems like I'm not really feeling at all. Don't be. No, Achan, it's okay. I am, really, really. But just asking was enough for me, I think. I'm happy that you said no. I'm happy that you said no. Is that right? Well, that's good. Yeah, it is. Thanks, Achan. She pulls herself up and leans against the wall. I'm assuming she is. My head hurts so much that I don't bother opening my eyes. I lie on my bed, listening to the rustle of my hair brushing against the sheets and the grass waving in the wind outside. I guess that I should say more to reassure, but I wonder if that would really help. Maybe it would be better to say nothing, but I just don't know. Although I think that in this situation, there's no right thing I can do. Good night, Achan. With that, she leaves, and the door clicking shut behind her like a guilty whisper. Maybe it's because I'm eager to put today behind me, but after Misha's gone, I find it much easier to fall asleep. I do so almost instantly. The following morning, I wake up thinking that most of the time is going to be spent trying to avoid Sejun and Misha. What happened last evening still makes me feel uneasy. I thought that sleeping on it would help alleviate that feeling. I feel like an idiot for believing it would be that easy. I think about whether or not Misha might feel the same way. If so, she probably won't show up to school today. I'd consider doing the same, but it would be pretty suspicious, and staying inside all day in fear doesn't appeal to me. Never really has. Like I thought, Misha isn't in class this morning. Shizune is, but today is a busier day than most, so she gives her all of the concentration on her classwork, and that means there's a little idle time for her to start up a conversation with me. I'd grown so used to seeing Shizune and Misha together that I hadn't realized until yesterday how much that hasn't been the case lately. And it's a shame because the empty seat next to her reminds me that they are a pair. So yesterday is something I'll take to my grave. If I feel this way about it, I wonder how Misha must feel. Just as regretful? When she came on to me, she was more depressed than sexy to start with. I can only imagine how much worse it would be now. Thinking about it like that, I want to see her again, but only half-heartedly. The other half of me is still terrified, even though I hate to use that word. It makes me feel ashamed, but I'm sure it's the only way to describe myself right now. I spend the next couple periods in the library, not in the mood to sit in classes for the rest of the day, but unwilling to walk back to the dorms. While I'm lazily flipping through the pages of an uninteresting historical fiction novel, she drops herself into the chair across from me, pouting. I think it's sort of pointless to come to school and then skip every class. Sorry. At least tell everyone that you're sick. I'm just not feeling it today. Yesterday I was fine. Tomorrow I'll probably be fine. Wait, yesterday was fine though. Tomorrow I'll probably be fine. Taking a sick day in the middle of a week is just too suspicious. That 24-hour flu thing or whatever won't fly. It's not suspicious. It is. I turn back to my book, but Shizune pulls it down in contrast with her expression, which straddles the line between concern and anger. Is something wrong? What? Is something bothering you? Because you're acting a little suspicious today, in a different way. If there is, just tell me or I'll be mad. I'm not good at reading people. What a ridiculous thing to say after picking up my mood so easily. She's only half kidding, but there's some truth to it. After all, she can't hear tone, and has to rely on reading to communicate with others. It's as if you could only ever have conversations with someone through text messages. That has to mess with you in some way. That's probably why she stares so intently at people in order to gauge their reaction. Or maybe it's why she pushes so hard to get them to react. I've thought about it before, but it's too hard to say for sure why Shizune's exact motivations are for anything. So I wonder how much of that was a joke. Sometimes it's easy to tell. This time it isn't. Assuming it wasn't a joke, I can't tell her anyway because in sign language there's enough time to collect myself and lie effectively. Nothing. I've just been thinking a lot about the student council's future lately. I believe Misha's doing the same, well, in her own way. So am I, but she isn't here today. I wish she'd be letting me know something because I might need her help later today. Yours too, unless you're busy. I'm not. Thank you. I feel like I'm losing a lot of people close to me lately. I can't think of a good way to respond to that. Something reassuring and confident, telling her not to worry. I'm here for you. I'm not one of those people. Then, who is? That seems so forced. I managed a wave of my hand that seems extremely callous as soon as I do it. You shouldn't feel that way. I might just be a little sick, not enough to go through the trouble of making it official. It's just easier for me this way. It's the wrong way. I've heard that hard way and the right way are usually the same thing, so it's not a big stretch to say that the opposite is true. Well, fine. If you say you're alright, that's good enough for me. Wait. You asked me, so I'm turning it around. Is everything okay with you? Yes. She signs it without a moment's hesitation. After that, Shizune waits to see if I'm going to follow up on it. I don't, and she leaves. I feel like an idiot for not going further, even though I think it's better that I didn't. I've been in the library for quite a while, and decided to go up to the roof for a change of pace. A fresh breeze hits me the second I open the door. This is really my favorite area of the school, I think. Then I see that I'm not the only one here. I can see a girl with bubblegum pink hair in front of me. Her back is to me, but I don't have to see her face to know who it is. I'm sure Misha's the only person in the world like hair like that. I get the feeling that I've stumbled onto her at a bad moment. She obviously wants to be alone, and I wonder if she hasn't noticed my presence. If so, I'll leave right now, but she has and turns to face me. Oh, it's Chan. I thought someone was behind me, but I didn't think it was going to be you. This time you surprised me. As she's referring to her habit of sneaking up behind me and asking me to guess who it is. I've never been surprised by that. I'm surprised too, but this is good. I had something I wanted to talk to you about anyway. Not that. What's going on between you and Shizune? She won't tell me, so I'm asking you. Because you're easy to get an answer out of, since the same sign language that gives me the leeway to lie to her gives her a question against my question, so that she can more easily brush them off. When she hesitates, I push her harder. Give me an honest answer, please. It's complicated, Chan. It's because it's something that happened a long time ago. I thought I could forget about it, but it's really hard, so that and graduation coming up made me want to spend more time with Chan. But Chan is always busy now, so you've been fighting. But I'm tired of it now, because I like Chan. So do I. Well, no, no. I know you like her, Chan. I mean that I like Chan in the same way. I want her to be my girlfriend. You just close your eyes, like a condemned criminal confessing that the last of their sins in front of their executioner. It only makes it harder for me to think of a response, and I know I have to give one. I see. I never knew. I didn't really want to come to the school, Chan, but it sounded interesting, and even if everyone hated me, at least it felt like they would leave me alone. I was learning sign language, but it wasn't very good at it. Chan was trying to get people to join the student council because it was only her and Lily. Then she came up to me. I couldn't understand her at all. But Chan wouldn't use her pen and paper. She knew that I was taking sign language classes. I exposed quickly. I didn't know any. That only made her try harder, and I hated Chan and thought she was making fun of me. That wasn't the reason, though. So, I slowly fell in love with Chan, and I told her that I loved her. It was the student council room, you know, when it was just the two of us. I had these fantasies of Chan staying alone in the office, trying to put everything together all by herself. It seemed so lonely to me, so sad. I think I wanted it to be that way. That way I could be there for Chan, and maybe Chan would like me. Even though there was no reason for me to believe it, I did anyway, and wanted it to be true. So I was okay with letting myself believe it, even though I think I knew. That day it was really, really beautiful too with Chan. We were done with everything, and I was looking out through the window. Even through the window the light was so warm. I wanted to stay like that forever next to Chan. But then I looked at Chan, and she had her back to the window, and she was still working on something, blocking out the rest of the world. The light was on her shoulders, like when I put a blanket on my shoulders as a little kid. Mija stopped for a second as if trying to hold on to the image of Shizune in her mind. Chan looked... It was like Chan looked in a way that made me want to be with her, but I felt like it'd be hard for that to happen. That was a really long time ago. My hair was different back then too. A little messy. I cut it because Chan was always talking about it. Anyway, I told her right then and there. I confessed. I was rejected. So, I thought that was it, Chan. But Chan was always trying to find me, and I hated Chan again for it. And when I asked her why she was doing it, it was because I was her friend. Her cheeks have a hint of red in them. I wonder how much experience she has had with her crying, that she can keep herself from doing it so well. If she didn't pause to help wipe her eyes, I might never have noticed. Having Chan say that made me happy, but also sad. Even though she never meant to hurt me, it still hurts, even now. Chan has a way of manipulating people, Chan. Sometimes she wants to, and sometimes she doesn't really, but it happens anyway. And sometimes I'm not sure exactly which one it is, and I feel doubt. I just wish that Chan liked me instead of you. It made me wonder if I was starting to hate you and Chan just a little. I didn't like that. She was thinking maybe it would be better if I weren't here at all. She looked confused. The thought had never crossed her mind. That's not it, Chan. I thought about it a lot these last few days, and I don't want to hate anyone. You or Chan. It's so stupid that I ever felt like that, isn't it, Chan? I don't want to think about that kind of stuff ever again. And missing people and being a part of them, I'm tired of it and don't want to think about it anymore. I already did though, so I'm still really the worst kind of person. I was thinking that it would be better if Chan had never come to this school. I was thinking, wouldn't it be better if I just died? Misha pressed herself harder against the fence at her back, as if hoping to slip right through it. Without really thinking about it, I grabbed her hand. My reflexes are terrible, and I managed to only grasp only a few of her fingers, but it's unimportant. Sorry, it's just that you said something pretty weird just now. Haha, yeah, I guess that's right, Chan. Yeah. Do you want to know what I think? Shizune is the type of person who won't let anyone close to her except on her terms. It's frustrating, sometimes. It's even infuriating. probably would have bothered me if when I was in the hospital and anyone who shut me out was dead to me. I'd forgotten all about it until recently. I got a letter and it was all about that. I was mad, I thought. How can you accuse me of closing myself off from anyone and giving up? Isn't that what everyone else did to me? What else am I supposed to do? What can I do? Yeah, even now, I know that's how it happened, but she was right too. I did close myself off. So I made up my mind that I'm not gonna let that be the case ever again. Hospital? Chan, is that what those pills are for? Just listen, please. Shizune is the opposite of how I was. She was always wanted to draw people closer to her. That's the only reason Shizune was interested in me in the first place, I think. And I think I was determined not to let that happen in a way. Each cast her eye downwards, understanding perfectly. I never realized how hard that can be. And now I feel like I'm gonna return the favor, even if it takes twice as long. I already learned a second language just to get this far. It wasn't as hard as I thought, but it was definitely hard. Sometimes I felt like I was clawing my way up a mountain with how my hands hurt. And you did the same thing. And it was for the same reason, wasn't it? That's really amazing, which is why it makes me sad. I'm a little angry that you would say a stupid thing like that. That's just what I believe, anyway. Her shoulders slump, and Misha's almost slides to the floor, like she's drained of all energy. You're too dramatic, Chan, she says while looking away and turning her head almost as if she wants to look out at the school grounds, but not turning it enough to do so. Wahaha! The door behind us opens and sounds only barely able to be heard over the ambient breeze. I've been looking everywhere for you two. Is this some secret meeting? She walks over to us, leaning against the fence next to Misha as if she needs to stop and catch her breath before pushing herself off and continuing. I'm bored sitting in the student council room every day now, without either of you coming by. Taking some time off is fine, but this is just too much. Normally, Misha and I would be jokingly making excuses for ourselves at this point. This time, there's only silence. Shizune, always expecting resistance, is thrown off balance by the lack of it. A few seconds pass in an uneasy silence, when Shizune breaks with an ear-shattering snap of her fingers as if to say Eureka. Let's go do something together. Like what? Anything. We should go to the student council room first and then figure it out from there. That seems like a trick to get us to do work instead. Very funny. Misha laughs, managed to let out a restrained wahaha that Shizune can't see. It makes me feel better. It means that it wasn't only for her benefit. I was thinking that you both actually could help me with something. What else is there? We can go out to eat. We already ordered in yesterday, and there's already breaking a policy. 3 days in a row would be unforgivable. But that was ordering in, Chan. Going out to eat is different. Yeah, totally different. You're both kidding yourselves. Before I can reply, she grabs my hand, limiting my ability to do so. My option cut down so drastically, I have no choice but to settle for making a face at her instead. She makes one back before extending her hand to Misha as well. Misha is expecting to take it. I walk forward as far as holding on to Shizune at the same time will allow me, and take her hand myself. Ha ha ha. She only has a second to smile before Shizune starts pulling us impatiently towards the door, binding us together like a human chain. Although it's dangerous, none of us seem to think of letting go any step of the way, through to the school, out of the doors, and across the grounds. This feels familiar, as if we've walked like this before, the three of us hand in hand. Of course, the mood was a lot happier then. I can see the lingering sadness on their faces, and it makes me wonder if anything has really changed. If this is all just distraction or not, but I think it's just me slipping back and being cynical because of the moment it's a start. Act 4. To my other self.